I start. Okay, we are starting Bhagavad Gita study, chapter 18, which is the last chapter. The verse 23, previous verses, Krishna described the three types of intelligence, and that now he's talking about the three types of action. And the three types are obviously according to Sattva, Rajas, and Tamas. So verse 23 is saying, that action that is performed in a regulated way, without identification or affiliation, without attachment or repulsion, without a selfish desire to enjoy the results, is described as belonging to Sattva. Okay, so this is done in the best possible way, but without selfishness. Okay, without ahankara and mamatva. It's like sangarahitam aragadeshatam. Sangha means association in the sense of identification. Kartaham iti manyate. Right? Kritam. Afana prepsuda. Without selfish desire to enjoy the results, the fruits. Okay, and we have verse 24 about Rajas. It says, however, that action that is performed in egotism or with great efforts by one who wants to enjoy the results is described as influenced by Rajas. Okay. So, Rajas means passion, desire, greed. Okay. And we have 25. Those activities that are cause for bondage, that are destructive, hateful, careless, and fabricated without real knowledge, performed out of illusion, are said to be in tamas. Okay. There's a lot of tamas going around in the world at present.
That is, the activities which cause bondage are rajas also, right? Like rajas also
No,
cause bondage, right?
actually, the real bondage comes from the ignorance, from the identification with the matter, with material, the material body, the material mind, the material association. The action in Rajas is more oriented to the result, not with the ego. You see, you see, okay, let's see it again. Let's see it again. The action in tamas are cause for bondage. Means not just reaction, not just bad karma, but bondage. Means you cannot get out of it. You're tied up. Fabricated without real knowledge, performed out of illusion. The illusion of raga dvesha. The illusion of the ahankara mamatva. In Rajas, we have actions that are performed in egotism or with great effort by one who wants to enjoy the results. So it doesn't mean that he identifies with the result. Just wants a result. The egotism means that he wants to get the result. Because it is a matter of honor, a matter of social prestige, it's a matter of gain, it's a matter of benefits, it's a matter of success, all these things are not specifically cause for bondage, because it's something that comes and goes. Karma comes and goes. They produce karma in the sense every action produces a reaction. When you identify with the action, you are in rajas. When you identify as the actor, the one who does the action, you are influenced by tamas. It's different. There's not so much difference, but some difference is there. In rajas, you identified with the action. In tamas, you identify as the doer, the one who does the action. So identification as the author of the action, based on ahankara and mamatva, is the root of ignorance. So the fact that you want to achieve something is rajas. So you can use rajas to support sattva, even shuddha sattva. But you cannot use tamas to support sattva. Because in tamas, you are totally bound. You are in a vicious circle. You cannot get out. Because it doesn't even come to your mind the idea that you can attain liberation. Because you don't even understand what liberation means. So the bondage is this helpless position of being bound, hands and feet. Why? Because these actions are destructive, hateful, careless, fabricated without real knowledge, performed out of illusion. Like there are some, Hindus who try to establish dharma by behaving in a very adharmic manner. Why? Because they're in tamas. So they think that, by alienating those who, sincere people who want to approach Hinduism in a sincere manner, they think they should beat them up and they should kick them out and mistreat them because they're not of a Hindu race. What result will bring these activities, these choices, this mentality? It is destructive, hateful, careless, fabricated without real knowledge, performed out of illusion. This is tamas. It's due to ignorance, without real knowledge, because we know from the Shastra that the real knowledge is aham brahmasmi. So there is no Indian Brahman, Italian Brahman, American Brahman, Chinese Brahman. No, Brahman is Brahman. The Atman is the same everywhere. Now, the people who think, who want to obtain, how to say, power for the nation, for the Rashtra, because they have this egotism. They think it's their duty. They have to do it because they have the privilege, because it's it's our adhikar, and they do great efforts, and they want to enjoy the results. Means we have a Hindu Rashtra. Okay. Is described as influenced by rajas because they want a result. Not necessarily for themselves, but also for their category. So egotism is not restricted to the individual. It also expands to the family, the group, the nationality. Whenever we have this duality between us and them, this is egotism, because it's not, it's in Rajas, it's not in Sattva. In Sattva, the action that is performed in a regulated way means soberly, without identification or affiliation, means not based on party politics or racial considerations, affiliation, identification, material identification. Without attachment to or repulsion, means okay, we need to defend dharma, whatever it takes. Even if we are not going to enjoy the results, we do it because it is our duty to protect dharma. But we know what dharma is. Dharma is based on the freedom from identification or affiliation. This is Bhagavad Gita is repeating it so many times. This is what is happening. In today in the world. The disaster we can see in the world because people don't have the proper knowledge. So the idea is how to overcome all these problems through knowledge. Here. Fabricated without real knowledge. So we need to get real knowledge, otherwise we are in tamas. We can work, we can make great efforts, getting the strength from rajas, but we need real knowledge, which is sattva. Regulated way, niyama, means proper engagement. Yama is also coming from the same root of yoga, yati, yogi, yama, yamaraj. Yama means control, pranayama. Okay, so niyama here, regulated. Here it is. Niyatam, regulated, means according to the rules, according to the protocol. In a sober way, in a determined, deliberate way, based on proper knowledge. Regulated by what? By knowledge, by the proper protocol. I don't know. Is that clear?
Yes.
Any question here?
No.
Okay, alas. We can just, hope for the best. Okay, so this is the action. Okay, a person who engages in duty without attachment to association, sangha, mukta sangha, free from all association, or associating with liberated people. Oh, so the sangha, the sangha parivar is not exactly what we need, but it's okay. Mukta sangha, without egotism, anaham vadi, without egotism, aham vadi, following the aham. Okay, an means not. Okay, it's a negative prefix. But filled with equal determination and enthusiasm in front of success or failure. It is to be situated in sattva guna. This is the different types of determination. Okay, free from association, attachment and association, identification. Just doing the proper duty as per the original Shastra Praman. Okay, Sa-anga, with the limb, member, or part. Okay, now we have determination. Verse 27. A person who acts out of attachment for the results of his or her work, pushed by intense desire and greed, distracted by elation and despondence, without cleanliness or compassion, is described as acting in rajas. So there is the famous Machiavellian saying that the end justifies the means. Oh, no, it doesn't. That is rajas, you know. It's not a good thing. You know, the compassion and purity, honesty, self-control, it's sattva. We need to remain as much as possible in sattva. And let's see the tamas. 26, the determination in tamas. A person acting in tamas guna is not engaged in useful activity, so they're just wasting time after useless things. He is materialistic, means identifying with the material elements, with the material body, material mind. Stubborn, deceitful, propaganda, takia, how you can say, kol nidre, deceitful, destructive. Oh my God! And we could talk about a lot about that. Lazy, they don't want to do real work. They just want to sit and tell people what to do. Okay, morose, always the victim. It's called the BMW, bitching, moaning, and whining. Morose, bitching, moaning, and whining and complaining, and we are the victim. Okay, and procrastinating. Yeah, we study the Shastra later on. Now I'm busy. Okay, so 29. O Dhananjaya, there are also 3 types of intelligence and determination, according to the gunas. Listen, I will describe them again. Buddhi. Okay, we have verse 30. Osana Prita, sattvic intelligence is when one knows what should be accepted and what should be rejected. Pravrittim cha, nivrittim cha. Karya, bhaya. What actions should be performed and what actions should not be performed. What is to be feared and what is not to be feared. What brings liberation and what brings bondage. Bandham moksham chayavitti buddhi sapartha sattiki. Okay. 31. Asana Prita, the type of intelligence that does not understand clearly what is the difference between dharma and adharma, or what should be done and what should not be done, is controlled by rajas. Why? They cannot see the difference between dharma and adharma, because they think, that dharma is whatever is convenient for us, whatever we like, whatever looks good to us, beneficial to us, that would be dharma. We want to oppress women because we think that women should be controlled, and then we present it as dharma. Because we think we are going to get some benefit. Okay, so we don't really see the difference between dharma and adharma. Then we go on and we have verse 32. Osana Prita, the type of intelligence influenced by tamas, believes adharma to be dharma. And because it is covered by darkness, it always chooses the wrong direction in all pursuits. So when we are unfortunate that we keep making mistakes, we cannot just blame God or blame, other people, blame the British, blame the whatever, we need to understand, what should be done and what should not be done. The difference, we cannot present adharma as dharma. We cannot say that if we, attack innocent people in retaliation for, the bad actions of someone in their family, that's not dharma. That's not dharma. We need to restrain the aggressors, not retaliate on innocent people who did nothing wrong. So, because of tamas, because we don't have the proper knowledge. We are not following the Shastra. We are not understanding what Dharma is. In fact, we can easily, present a Dharma as if it was Dharma. So, for example, lots of people think Dharma means religion. So they come out with with nonsense like the Christian Dharma, the Muslim Dharma, the criminal Dharma, because you you were a criminal, your parents were criminals and your family was criminal, then you should be criminal as well because that's your Dharma. How does that make sense? Doesn't make sense. So that is because of ignorance and foolishness. This is tamas, ignorance. So always ends up to choose the wrong direction in all pursuits. Like, regularly mistakes the ropes for snakes and snakes for ropes. Ends up, creating problems for the friends, the people who should be protected, and appease the aggressors. And that's tamas. Sanaprita, 33. The sattvic determination is that which sustains the dutiful activities of the mind, the prana, and the senses through the practice of yoga without interruption. And this practice of yoga is not, making some complicated asana or some pranayama. The practice of yoga, asana and pranayama are only useful for dharana and dhyana. So if we just do the asana and the pranayama, we don't do the proper dhyana, what's the point? People who think that yoga is just like this vinyasa yoga, the physical yoga, that is a commercial yoga. What they describe as Western yoga, but it was invented by, the guru of Iyengar. Iyengar and his guru, they invented the commercial yoga, the physical yoga, because they wanted to get Western disciples. So who taught the Western people who practice the physical yoga as a sport, as a fitness system? Who taught them? It's not that these Western people actually learn it by themselves. Someone taught them. And we know it's Iyengar and his guru. They started this system. So, practice of yoga without interruption means the consciousness. Yoga, the meaning of yoga means consciousness. We know, we have read all the Bhagavad Gita. What Krishna means by yoga is not, the Shirshasana that you stand on your head and keep your feet in the air, or you move your stomach around for the cameras. That's not yoga. So I don't know. Is that too much to digest?
No.
You you have good digestion. Okay, let's hope nobody takes offense. Well, if they do, I'm sorry. I apologize, but that's what Bhagavad Gita says. Okay, 34. Asana-prita. That determination that sustains dharma, kama, and artha because of the desire for their benefits is produced by Rajas Guna. Even dharma, If you pursue dharma for some particular benefits for yourself or for your people, your group, is Rajas Guna. It is not a bad thing. It's not a bad thing. You know, it's good, but it's not a sattva. Osano Prita, the determination that is in tamas guna is characterized by stupidity and cannot go beyond dreaming, fearfulness, lamentation, moroseness, and illusion. Oh, poor us, everybody is Hindu-phobe. You know, because they've seen that stupid people are falling in the trap of Islamophobia. You know, propaganda. Okay, then let's do like the bad people are doing, so we win. Hey, nope, that's not going to work. And we have verse 36. O best among the descendants of Bharata, there are 3 different types of happiness. Now hear from me how to practice. How? By practice, one can obtain pleasure and put an end to sufferings. Hey, this is a very interesting verse. Practice. Okay, so let's practice sattva. That happiness that seems like poison in the beginning, but is nectar at the end, is described as sattvic in nature, and is born from the understanding of the self and the satisfaction of the mind. So, you know, to continue my observation before, if something sounds, it's a medicine, is bitter, you know, in the beginning, it tastes like poison, you know, because it's difficult to accept, because it hurts my ego. It hurts my ahankara and mamatva. Oh, poison. Oh, they're poisoning me. They're attacking me. They hate me. No. It's a reality check. You know. Seems like poison in the beginning because we are sick. You know, there is a famous example lots of teachers make of jaundice. You know, jaundice is a disease of the liver by which when we taste sugar, we feel the taste as bitter. So, you know, people are giving us sugar and say, why are you giving me this bitter poison? It's bitter, it's not sweet. But what is the medicine? You have to keep taking the sugar because at some point it will become sweet. Not that it will transform, it will appear to us as reality, as sweet, because we have been cured. So, it's like poison in the beginning, but it's nectar at the end. And it is described as sattvic in nature, and is born from the understanding of the self. You know, the Atma Buddhi, the spiritual intelligence, the understanding, the intelligence of the Atman, and the satisfaction of the mind, prasadajam, is derived from the satisfaction, it's a blessing. Prasadam also means blessing. It's a blessing. You know, the harsh truth is sometimes difficult to digest, but it's a blessing, it's a medicine. You know, and it will satisfy the mind because we see what we need to do. And we have verse 38. That
One
yeah,
thing here,
please.
like when something is poisonous in the beginning, so why would one start itself at the first place?
Because of
Because
the
we need to get
knowledge,
some.
because of the Shastra. Why we start a process? Why we start the you know, because we start through the Shastra and the genuine Guru. most of the so-called gurus today, they don't want to upset their customers. So they don't tell them what they're doing wrong. But the Shastras are very clear. So we start a process according to the protocols, the system, that the original system, not based on some speculation, some new method. You go and do the registered trademark on meditation. Why you should do a registered trademark on meditation if your idea of meditation is to jump off your butt and imagine you're flying? Is that meditation? Is that transcendental meditation? Where it is written in the Shastra. It is nothing like that in the Shastra. I don't know, I didn't, maybe I missed it. Where is it? Where is it? Patanjali says that, if you jump, you sit on, cross leg and you jump off your your buttocks, try to jump. You can do that, yeah. I mean, for centuries they were doing in the West, where they were doing what is called the okay, I don't remember the English word, but they enter in a sack. They put their legs, they tie their legs together in a sack, and they are supposed to run, to race, but they're in the sack. So what they're going to do? They have to jump, so they're jumping, they're hopping up and down, but that's not flying, I could I could jump. I remember once many years ago, I went from Delhi. What was the bus station in Delhi that goes to Vrindavan? The big bus station. So I took a bus 40 years ago from Delhi to Vrindavan, and at some point I was literally flying off the seat because of the potholes. And at some point I was, I laid down because I was so tired and so sleepy, and if the bus caught a particularly vicious pothole, and I'm telling you, I jumped more than 1 foot in the air. I don't know if it was 2 feet, I didn't check, but at least 1 foot it was. Was that flying? I don't think so. That was definitely not yogic flying. Anybody can do, if they do, sufficient exercise. You can sit with cross leg on the floor and, jump. You can use your muscle, leg muscle and buttock muscles. You can, jump around like a like a frog. Is that yogic flying? Don't think so. So we need the Shastra. If someone can show me from the Shastra that this is a genuine bona fide system, in the original genuine yoga, okay, then I will change my mind. But I missed it until now. I don't know. So. So we are told by knowledgeable person. It is said in the tradition. It's Ado Shraddha. In the beginning we need to have some faith, to believe in the Shastra and in the Guru. But faith is not something that we should rely on all along the journey, because we also need to experiment, to verify. So for example, let's say we don't have the habit to take a bath, okay, we can very easily become lazy, and not very interested in taking a bath. Okay, we can say it's detachment. Okay, but it's actually not. Because you lose the habit. You don't have the habit, so you don't see the difference between being dirty and being clean. So to get the courage to start taking bath regularly, it takes some courage. In the beginning it's unpleasant, because the water is not always a good temperature. You have to, if you don't have a proper plumbing and water heater and all the pipes in order and everything, you may have to go around with the bucket, take the bucket here and there, fill the bucket, blah blah blah. It's a complication. And it's better to stay in bed and take it easy. Then someone who has a proper knowledge will encourage you, say, listen, you need to take a bath. You feel refreshed. Your mind will work better. Your body will make you feel better. It's a pleasure actually to take a bath. And then you start, the beginning is like poison, because you're cozy with all your clothes and everything. You have to remove all your clothes and wash your clothes. It's, it's a botheration. But then you start and you actually experience, you make the experiment, you feel better. And then you also become, you become used to it. It seems like poison, because taking a bath in the winter is like, oh, no, please. But it's nectar at the end, because once you get properly organized and, get into the mental habit of taking a bath, you heat your water, you organize yourself, and it's a nectar, because a warm bath, a warm shower in the winter is, rejuvenating. It's relaxing. It's so good for health of body and mind. So it becomes nectar in the end. So it is born from the understanding of the self and the satisfaction of the mind. Satisfaction of the mind is a prasada. It's a blessing, Then, but the happiness that comes from the contact with the senses, with the sense objects, it's like nectar in the beginning and like poison in the end. And it's described as due to Ajah's guna. Let's say you like, I don't know, what you'd like to eat. Rasgulla? I don't know, soan papri?
Anything like sweet we can consider.
Anything, sweet or savory or whatever. You start in the beginning, you eat one or two, and it's like nectar. You keep eating, and you get diabetes, you get stomach upset, you get, you can get, lose motion, you can get all sorts of poison, But it's due to the sense gratification. We need little bit of sense gratification, but we shouldn't try to find happiness there. Why? Because the sense gratification has a beginning and an end. In another verse, Krishna is saying, Adyantavanta, they have a beginning and end. Nate Shura Mate Buddha. The intelligent person, Buddha, don't Naramate, Nate Shura Mate Buddha. You don't try to find happiness in sense gratification. You can enjoy sense gratification when it's there, but you're not going after it. You accept what is, what comes your way without too much effort. Is that clear?
Yes.
It's like nectar in the beginning and poison in the end. It's the same with relationships. You see a person that is very attractive, and by associating with that person, you feel like nectar. You're so in love. After you marry, after 5, 10 years, 20 years, oh God, you know, it's it's a mess. Ooh, you need to have something else in your life, otherwise you die. Rajasguna. And the Tamaguna is even worse, as you can imagine. So, verse 39, that happiness that is based on illusory identifications from the beginning to the end, and is born from sleep, laziness, and madness, is said to originate from Tamasguna. So, there will be no happiness from the beginning to the end. Okay. Verse 40. Neither on this earth nor in the heavens among the devas, heavens means Svarga, right? Divi Dev Deveshu Apuna Sattvam Pritak Sattvam Pritak Prakriti Jai Muktam Yat Ebhi Syat Tribhi Gunai. Neither on this earth nor in the heavens among the devas, one's existence can be free from the influence of these three gunas that are generated by nature. Okay, Divi Deveshu. Okay. So everyone who has a material body is subject to the gunas. So the devas who are in charge of the material universe, their limbs of the body of the Virat Rupa, but the Virat Rupa has a beginning and an end. It manifests, becomes manifest, and then unmanifest. When the universes are reabsorbed into Mahavishnu's body, they disappear. So all the living beings in the universe, including the devas, have material bodies. The devas have superior, subtle material bodies, but still material bodies. They are born and they die, which is not what happens with the Brahman. The Param Brahman is not born and doesn't die. It's eternal. Indra is not eternal. The Adityas are not eternal. At every 54 times, I think, at each Manvantara, 14 times, I don't remember. At each Manvantara, all the devas, the batch of the devas is renewed. The devas die and the new devas come. So, and verse 41. Oh, and we have the duties of the Varnas. The duties of the Brahmanas, Kshatriyas, Vaishyas, and Shudras are categorized according to their specific natures produced by the gunas, which we can change. Let's remember that. Gunas can change. They're not, forever. 42. What 12? 42. The activities or duties of the Brahmana, determined by his particular nature, are control of his own mind, senses and body, cleanliness, tolerance, simplicity, theoretical and practical knowledge, and living in accordance to Vedic teachings. Ashtikyam, the faith, it's not just faith, it's following the Vedas. Astika believes in the authority of Vedic knowledge. Na-astika, those who are not recognizing the authority of Vedic knowledge. So we have the Astika Darshana and the Nastika Darshanas. Perspectives, views of reality. So the Brahmana, if someone is called a Brahmana, but his nature doesn't uh, support him in controlling his own mind, senses, and body, doesn't support him in cleanliness, doesn't make him tolerant and simple, and doesn't show his theoretical and practical knowledge, especially in according to the Vedic teachings, that's not a Brahmana, because the gunas are different. If a Brahmana, someone we call Brahmana, manifests the gunas and karma of someone in some other varna, that's supposed, that's the actual position. Then we have verse 43. The activities or duties of the kshatriya, determined by his particular nature, are heroism, charisma, determination, resourcefulness, steadiness in battle, charity, and sense of leadership. That's not something that is required from a Brahmana. Brahmana is usually gentle and humble and, doesn't want to control anyone. The Kshatriya has a sense of leadership, so he has the natural tendency, the guna and karma, to control in the sense of to lead, to giving material instructions, not advice. Kshatriya is not giving advice. The Brahman is giving advice, but the Kshatriya takes the leadership. So heroism, charisma, determination, resourcefulness, steadiness in battle, charity, and sense of leadership. Then we have, let's see what the Vaishya does, is supposed to do. The activities or duties, svabhavajam, Vaishya karma, the activity, the karma of the Vaishya are determined by particular nature, svabhavajam, agriculture, protection of the cows or the planet, because go means it applies not only to the cows but to the planet, and commerce. The activities, duties of the Shudra, determined by his particular nature, are the service or assistance to others. No other duties. We see the Vaishya has less duties. The Kshatriya has little more duties, and the Brahmana has the most duties. And the Shudras, they only have the duty to help the others, to do physical work. 46. By engaging in the duties pertaining to his specific nature, a human being gradually attains perfection. Now listen how one can attain perfection through engagement in his specific duties. We have to remember that the specific duties are determined by guna and karma, not by jati. Okay. Okay. 46. By properly performing one's duties, one is worshipping the Supreme, from which all beings, all situations are created and engaged, and that pervades all the universe. This is how a human being can attain perfection. We remember the Viratrupa as a universal form that contains all beings. That is why we need to work for the benefit of all beings. That is a service to God, by protecting the good, paritranaya sadhunam, destroying the evildoers, vinashaya chadushkritam, dharma samstapanarthaya, for the purpose of establishing the dharma, and that's the mission of the avatars, that's the mission of the teachers, all the devotees and acharyas and actual gurus. That's their duty. Okay, so that's how it goes. This is how a human being can attain perfection.
But here it just talks about doing your duty. Is it
Yeah.
sufficient? Like if someone properly performs their duty and
Yeah, but
without
what is your
remembering God
duty?
and all that.
The
Come again?
problem is that today the Varna system is messed up. And nobody knows what is their real duty, proper duty. They tell people your duty is to serve your employer, to take care of your family, to pay the taxes, to, vote for the elections, to, I don't know, to drive on the proper side of the road. But this is not the actual duties due to guna and karma. These are conventional duties. They're not your proper duties. So you have to see what is your proper swadharma, your karma swabhavajam, born your karma, your duty that is born from your nature, your guna and karma. So you shouldn't see what is the job that you're doing. Because lots of people who could be, by guna and karma, could be Vaishyas or Kshatriyas or Brahmanas, end up being engaged as Shudras. Only a Shudra gets a salary. So, Kala Shudra Sambhava. Everybody is a Shudra because everybody wants a salary. Because society puts you in a situation where you are forced to, think about a salary. Otherwise, you cannot survive. You cannot take care of your family. You cannot do your proper professional work. Let's say you have the potential for a brahmana. You cannot be a brahmana in this society because, you cannot be renounced. You cannot be detached. You cannot, because the government will be after you. I was going around a little bit. I was looking at the price of the food now in India. 1 kilo of potatoes is what? 80 rupees, 100 rupees. What will you do if you don't get a salary that allows you to pay for the potatoes? I mean, and potatoes are not a particularly, extravagant, costly food compared to the rest of the foods. Potatoes are the poor man's food, because they're so easy to grow, and they don't need refrigeration. You can keep your potatoes for the whole month in your cupboard and, they still be good. So, how much do the potatoes cost in your area per kg?
20 rupees something.
20.
Yeah.
Oh, that's good. That's good. So maybe in Vrindavan we can all go to Vrindavan. Yeah, we take shelter, Krishna's protection. 20 rupees per kg is very reasonable. In Hyderabad, it's 80.
Okay.
This big basket thing. When I was in Hyderabad for
Yes.
6 months, I was, getting the home delivery. So they still have my email address. So sometimes they're sending me their, advertisement and everything. And out of curiosity, I went around to have a look. And I was shocked. Like, but 10 years ago, the 20 rupees, I think there were 5 rupees, I don't know, something like that. The life is costing more and more and more. If you don't have a salary, you cannot survive. You cannot just build yourself a hut on, along the Yamuna, because the government will come and say, okay, you have a permit to build a hut. Where authorization from the government? Is this your land? Is this? Life was much easier in Vedic times. Today, everybody needs to become a Shudra, because otherwise you cannot survive. We cannot survive. Either we become, total sannyasis and ready for anything, but even that, you need to go around and beg for donations. Yeah. And maybe, of course, everything is happening according to God's plan, but, that's not what the situation, the circumstances are supporting in these days. I don't know. This answers the question. Yeah, it's not easy. It's not easy. Properly performing one's duties, we need to actually understand what are our duties. Because sometimes people, like for example, obeying the law. The government will tell you this is your duty. You have the duty to obey the law. But what if the law is bad? Is that your duty? Good question. What is the duty? In the beginning of Bhagavad Gita, Arjuna was asking Krishna, what is my duty? Tell me what is my duty. If Arjuna didn't know what his duty was, and he was living still there, and he was such a great personality, he was still Vedic times and everything, and Arjuna is asking Krishna, please tell me what is my duty. Because sometimes it's not easy to know what your duty is. But if you do sincerely, you do your duty sincerely, with the proper understanding and knowledge and following the practice, the application of the karma yoga. This means that you're worshipping the Supreme, you're worshipping the universal community, you're worshipping the Viratrupa, you're working for the benefit of all beings. Right? This is how a human being can attain perfection. But, we also need to realize that our swadharma based on guna and karma is not the Sanatana Dharma. It's only a part of the Sanatana Dharma. Because it's not the eternal Dharma, because now we have a particular guna, but we can change it. We should change it for the better. Then we have the verse 47, and this is a verse that lots of people have misunderstood. It is better to engage in one specific duty, even imperfectly, than following the duties of others in a perfect way. One's duties are prescribed according to one's specific nature, and engaging in them is the right thing to do. Okay, I suggest we keep this jewel for the next meeting, because it's a biggie.
Yes.
It's a biggie.
I
Okay,
also had one question with respect
please
to this
tell.
verse that, yeah, maybe we'll discuss next time the answer, but like, how can one perform, like, your duty is based on your guna and karma, right?
Yeah.
So how can you perform somebody else's duty? Because based on your guna and karma, you should be able to perform your duty better than anything else, right? So how can
Yeah,
one path perform? So
yeah,
we can
yeah,
discuss
yeah.
that next
But
time.
that requires some effort, because if you are performing some actions without any effort, that means you are performing something that is below your possibilities. We need to evolve, we need to improve ourselves. The guna and karma, we develop. We can do whatever we can do from our position, and that's okay, that's perfect. We don't need to have a high position in society, but we should try to become better persons. Like the Shudra can make an effort to become a better person, to use, develop some more intelligence, some more, ability to get organized and even organize others and resources. So a Shudra can be a craftsman. Doesn't need to just, do things for an employer. He can also be self-employed. If he still works with his body, hands, and everything, he's still a Shudra. But then, let's say a craftsman makes a pot, a potter. Okay. He can make pots for an employer or for himself. He's a craftsman. He knows how to make pots, and he's clay stuff. He can do all sorts of stuff. But he needs to learn how to organize, how to become responsible for the resources and even apprentices. When a Shudra has an employer, he just has to sit at the potter wheel and make pots and lamps and, whatever, because the employer says, okay, I need 10 5-liter pots and 11 2-liter pots, and then I need 50, normal lamps and 5 special lamps. The Shudra who is employed say, okay, yeah, well, I do that, And the employer gives him the clay and gives him the place to work and, gives the food and, and takes care of the family of the worker and everything. When a craftsman becomes self-sufficient, self-employed, he has to become more responsible, which gradually trains him to become an actual Vaishya. And then when a Vaishya, Vaishya just needs to manage his laborers and animals in in agriculture and everything, and he can organize these things. He can take care or take responsibility and everything. But if the Vaishya becomes, develops his potential, he can employ more and more people. He can take care of more and more animals, and practically becomes a Kshatriya. Because he expands on his duty, because his duty, at some point makes him develop, better qualities. It may take more time, because maybe Vaishya is just happy of being a Vaishya. He doesn't want to become, to have a big enterprise. Doesn't want to become, to command people, lots of people. You just have a couple of assistants, servants, whatever you want to say, employees, and then he does most of the work himself. So, but if you do your work perfectly, that means that without any effort, okay, that means that's behind you. I mean, below your potential. We should make some effort to improve, you know. So, it's better to, we say, it's better to engage in one specific duty, even imperfectly. Imperfectly means that you have not yet developed the full, mastery over your duties. And who's giving you the duty? The guru is giving you the duty. Because the guru can see your guna and karma, and the guru is engaging you so that you can evolve. Because evolution, personal elevation is the basic point of the whole Varna ashram system. Like Krishna says, one should elevate oneself, not degrade oneself. So elevation means evolution, progress. You become a better person. You put some effort in what you're doing. I don't know. You understand this point? Is that clearer?
Yes, yes. Let us strive to improve.
Yeah, do your best. To do your best, it's like fitness exercise. When you do some fitness program, if it is too easy for you, means it's not the program you need to follow. You need to upgrade a little bit. Not too much, not too much. It should still be within your capabilities, but you need to make an effort, even if you don't succeed perfectly, because that's your duty in the progressive system of personal evolution. You know, Krishna says, try to establish yourself on constant sattva. You think it's easy? No. It's, even if we cannot always, succeed, even our effort is, are imperfect, the results are imperfect, still we need to, make an effort, because that is our duty. Of course, if we are in tamas, you cannot jump from tamas to perfect sattva. It takes a process. You have to go through the proper system. That's why the guru and the shastra are so important, because they can see what you're not able to see, so they can engage you properly. You know, if you don't have a guru, at least try with the shastra. Okay, I think we can stop here for this time.
Yeah. Yeah.
Thanks.
Thank you. Thanks for
Jai
your time.
Jagannath.